Hi there and welcome to the Explaining History video channel. And this video is a very quick one for anyone that's doing questions or answers in history and wants to add more depth and detail to what they're doing. Now sometimes when I'm setting homework and I ask questions that are fairly straightforward, occasionally I get answers from my many pupils which are a little bit on the short side. This means that I can only award a certain low number of marks to each answer, because really there isn't anything else that's being said. So in order to get round this, what you need to do is to be able to give more detailed information in your answers without your answers becoming irrelevant. It's quite easy to waffle on about a particular topic area without realising that obviously you're saying things that aren't really addressing the question. So as long as what you do addresses the question and answers the question that's actually being asked, you shouldn't have much to worry about. So let's think of a sample question now. What were William the Conqueror's main goals after 1066? Okay, that's a pretty straightforward one, isn't it? And you might give a couple. You might say that he wanted to control the country, control the territory of England. He might want to tax the peasantry, and he might want to deal with uprisings. I'm sure you could think about this, but let's just focus on these three. So you could get out of a 10-mark question 3 marks just by listing those things, but we don't want 3 marks. We want as many as we can do, as close to 10 as possible to get. So if I was to write an answer to the question, point 1, he tried to control England and hand it in, a history teacher might say, well, how? Explain to me how. And what they're really saying is, here's an opportunity for you to get more marks. So any time you wind up having given a short answer, look at it and say, how did this happen? Why did this happen? What was making this happen? Okay, so in order to answer how he controlled the country, we might need to talk about castles, the building of castles, such as Motte and Bailey castles or later stone castles. We might want to look at how he divided the land between his nobles and how they subdivided it between their knights. And essentially, and from there we could talk about the development of the feudal system, how feudalism emerged. And once we've done that, we're still sticking to the topic, what his main priorities were. We said his main priority was to control the land, and he did this through using castles and feudalism and a structure of nobles and knights. And automatically we've given ourselves lots more marks. We could look at taxing the peasantry, and we might want to look at how he created an inventory, the Domesday Book, in order to find out the wealth of the country and who could afford to pay what taxes. So again, that adds a lot of detail to the simple answer as to what his priority was. We could show that it was a priority because he went to the time and trouble of compiling this huge, great book. And there, in doing those simple things, while sticking to the topic, sticking to what the question is actually asking, you can potentially double, if not triple, your potential marks and get as close to that top mark as is possible. And you do it really through having good knowledge. Now, the final trick here is to make sure that you've compiled and acquired all your knowledge that you need before you start work. Always read, then write. If you try to have a go at the question and then find the information as you go, you're really winging it, and winging it never really works. You might get away with it once or twice, but in the long run it never works. Okay, so firstly, make sure that you have all your reading material. Find it on the internet, or even better, read a book, or use what your teacher's given you. Make sure that's all in one place, ready, and you've read it and looked at it. You might even want to make some notes. Secondly, address the question And thirdly, use all the information you have to give richer, deeper answers by asking yourself supplementary questions. What was William's objective? To control the land. How did he do this? Castles, feudalism. Anyway, I hope that was useful, and I'll catch you on the next video.